What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 28, and we're starting today's list off by seeing that Theo Walcott has been approached by Lech Poznan, but in a day he decided to turn that move down to Poland. Like I said before, I can't really do anything about the pre-contract deals. If they go to unrealistic destinations, the players that is, can't really do anything about it. So, yep, thankfully Walcott turns that deal down there. Again, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, if you will, but it is what you'd consider to be an unrealistic transfer. Anyway, first game of today's episode, first and only game of today's episode, and this was going to be a little bit of a nervy one here. Yep, on the back of our win against Arsenal in the EFL Cup semi-final second leg, we responded with a 2-2 draw against Burnley, and the game before the Arsenal one was a draw at the New York Stadium against League One's Rotherham United. So heading into this game, just one win in our last three in all competitions, now taking on the side in the third tier of English football. We were 2-0 up at Rotherham and then drew the game 2-2 for Rotherham to force a replay. This was a really nervy clash here in midweek in the replay, and 20 minutes in, I was feeling the pressure. Coyote gave the Millers a shock lead at St Mary's, and we trailed to the Yorkshire side inside the opening half an hour. And I talked about it, there was a potential for a giant killing here, and the potential had gotten even greater. Coyote beats Raya. How on earth Rotherham scored from that position, I do not know. What I was doing with Martel, do not ask me. Left the man alone, thought he was dribbling out of play. He didn't. Raya goes to ground, misses the ball, misses the man, open goal, 1-0 Rotherham. So the Millers take a shock lead. But thankfully, this man has bailed me out too many times for it to not happen again. Yes, Ritsu, 23 minutes in directly from kickoff, puts us back on level terms and gives us the equaliser. And you saw my team heading into the game as well. It was a strong lineup. It was a really strong team. I was taking no chances. After the draw in the first fixture, I thought, I've got to put some starters out there, man. Seriously, I need my class. And Ritsu's our best and highest rated player in this team. I had to start him in this one. And he really was running the show in the opening half an hour. He scored our leveller. He scored our leveller. Almost set up a goal to get us in front. That header by Armstrong, well saved. It was still 1-1. But I've got to be honest here. Rotherham put me under immense pressure in the opening 40 minutes. And Ladepo, who scored the leveller at the New York Stadium to force a replay, almost put Rotherham back in front, and I couldn't believe it, you know. And I said I couldn't believe it. I guess I kind of could, because I was nervous heading into the game. And Raya made this extraordinary double save 6 minutes before the break, and we were still tied at 1-1 here at St Mary's. But I'll be totally honest here, whilst Ritsu had a couple of good chances for us and created 1-2 and scored our leveller as well, I thought the Millers had been the better team in the first half. I really wasn't playing my best football as Che Adams blazes one way off target here. We were still tied at 1-1, and the nerves. I mean, I'm sure you guys have been in grounds, you guys have been in stadiums before where your home team are firm favourites against a visiting side, and the atmosphere is just so tense. I mean, it's so nervy. You can hear a pin drop. It's really, really climactic, and it's so tense. You could cut the tension with a knife. This was one of those games here. Worried faces all around St Mary's, but right before the break, a lot of relieved faces as well, heading into the dressing room at half-time. Adam, Armstrong, thumbs up to the crowd, says, don't worry guys, we've got this. But in front for the first time in the game, it's 2-1, and it is the former Blackburn Rovers and Newcastle United forward with the goal. So 2-1 in front for the first time, and from kickoff after Rotherham gave the ball away, we could have extended our lead to 2 right before half-time. Great save on Lewis Potter there, kept it 2-1, but at least I knew after weathering a storm, we got in front for the first time in the game. Probably though, let's be honest here, against a runner play. So in the second half I thought, okay, alright, we're in front by a goal, but Rotherham have caused me problems, so I can't sit on this 1-goal lead. I'm going to have to go for more. And 55 minutes in, JWP fires just wide. Armstrong fires just wide as we were still leading by 1. But we had been the better team to start the second half off. Rotherham kind of used up all their energy in the first half, so I knew if I kept on attacking, I'd probably find that 2-goal cushion that might be enough this time, even though it wasn't at the New York Stadium. And 61 minutes in, well, I think I might have just spoiled it there for you by getting the names wrong. Yeah, it happened a few minutes later. Ward-Prowse didn't fire wide a few minutes ago. It was Armstrong. But it was Ward-Prowse who fired in a few minutes later. Yeah, I got the highlights confused there. I thought the first one was the Ward-Prowse goal, and then the second was the Armstrong effort going wide. But no, Armstrong fires wide, and James says, don't worry, Stu, let me show you how it's done. Ward-Prowse's third goal of the season in all competitions, and it's a glorious strike by Captain Fantastic. Top corner, Southampton 3, Rotherham United 1, and surely now we are heading into the last 16 of the FA Cup. 60 minutes to go, a chance to wrap it up and make it 4-1, which we would do. I almost choked it though, running through, 2 on the goalkeeper, and I played the pass so early, don't know why, but cut it back to Adam Armstrong. He gets his brace, and that will put us 4-1 up. Game over, good night Millers, fair play, put us under a lot of pressure, but surely we are heading through to the FA Cup last 16, leading by 3. 3.5 minutes to go. Coyote fires in his second of the game. Rotherham cut the deficit from 3 to 2. Not giving up just yet. But I thought surely there's not enough time. Stoppage time. Still leading by 2. KWP surrenders possession. Kelly down the left. Crosses the far post. And Rathbone, who's caused me a lot of problems in these 2 games, makes it 4-3 in stoppage time, and the Millers do it again. The Millers with 2 late goals against us for the second successive game make it 4-3. Those final 120 seconds took a while to tick down, but thankfully they did. Final score, Southampton 4, Rotherham 3, and I've got to be honest here, the Millers were unlucky, not just to force extra time, but win the tie in the replay and make it through to the last 16. Do you know what? I gotta clap. I gotta clap, because I gotta say here, I was pushed every single step of the way in that tie. They're forced to replay those 2 late goals, and then also almost dumping us out of the replay in a great display where you could say we were very lucky indeed. But we breathe a huge sigh of relief because we are through to the FA Cup last 16 and just about avoided giant killing in the replay. Still, finding out it was time for transfer deadline day, and with around £24 to £25 million in our budget, I decided to make a new signing and replace Jan Bednarek. And the 2 players I was looking at most of were, well, 3 players, including Tossim, but I didn't have a full scout report on Adebayo, were these guys right here. Big Chris of Brentford, and also Mark Guehi of Crystal Palace, formerly of Chelsea, of course. And in the end, I decided to go for Patrick Vieira's young centre-half, and the reason I did this was because I thought it was slightly more realistic. Now, with Brentford right now at the top of the Championship, the likelihood is they're going for an automatic return, to the Premier League. I don't think they'd be willing to sell their star players midway through the season. But for Crystal Palace, because of how poor the bottom 4 have been, there's a very good chance with them in 19th place right now, they're going down to the Championship. So I felt that Mark, because we signed 3 Brentford players already as well, you know, how realistic, or I should say how often do you see a club sign 4 players from the same club in one window? I thought this was a bit of a more realistic one because of the club we're buying from. Brentford top of the Championship, looking for the title to get instantly back to the Premier League, but Palace bottom 3 right now, and Mark has not even played half their games. He's played a third of their games at Selhurst Park. He sat on their bench for the most part, and the Eagles are in the bottom 3 as well. I thought it was slightly more realistic because we've already signed 3 players from Brentford and the positions of both clubs right now in the first and second tiers. So Mark is in from Crystal Palace. Big transfer fee to get him, but 22 years old. We know this guy is quick, 77 rated, and I'm going to get the defensive work rate up from medium to high, and I really feel like this guy could be a great replacement for our Polish centre-half. And we love Martel, the young Frenchman out of the academy, but he's just not developed too well. He's 10 ratings lower than Mark, and yes, he's a few years younger, but I think for first team quality, I'm going to put Mark right in alongside Salisu and have Martel coming off the bench. So yeah, Mark is in for £20 million as the new English defender signs on transfer deadline day. And we are going to see Djenepo leave the club on a free transfer at the end of the season as well. And it's quite a realistic destination as well, from Standard Liège to St Mary's, and now he's off to Stuttgart. Yep, Djenepo. I said I wouldn't extend his contract because we've got an abundance of wingers here, a couple of youngsters in Lewis Potter and Brennan Johnson as well. He's not had much game time this season. He's not played well in the limited minutes, and his stint at Southampton just hasn't really worked out. So I'm going to let him go on a free transfer. For realism, I think it's the right thing to do, especially because we extended the contract to Redmond earlier on this season, and Djenepo to Stuttgart. Yeah, I don't think that's too unrealistic. So as deadline day would end, one signing on transfer deadline day, and we'll end today's episode off with this. You see it in the bottom left. And I was in shock when I saw it happen. Yeah, I don't really think this is very realistic. I think I'll talk about this in a bit more detail in the very next episode. But with Manchester City in third, maybe it's not their best season ever, but they're only 7 points off Liverpool, who are top of the table. They won the title in season 1. They're into the EFL Cup final against us. And they've just offered me the manager's job. Yeah, it'll be a dream come true, but realistically, really? Yeah, I don't think so, somehow. But that went in today's episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. Big fan you for watching. I'll talk about it more in the very next episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode with 2 absolutely massive games in the Premier League against 2 of the big boys as we try and desperately cling on to our 4th and final Champions League spot with 14 games to go in the run-up to the EFL Cup final. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Much love to you all, and I will see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode. Massive episode for Premier League fixtures in the race for the Champions League very soon.